What's up guys, welcome back to Toon Duelists. Today we're doing a deck profile which I'm very excited for. I'm talking about the Chimera deck profile. Let's dive right into it. So, we start things off with 3 Cornfield Coatl. This card is really awesome. It has the effect that is typical for the illusion monsters, which is that it can't beat monsters in battle and it can't be destroyed by battle. For the other cards, I'm just going to refer to this as the illusion effect because all illusion type monsters have this effect so far. But the important effect of this card is you can discard it and then you can add to your hand one monster that mentions Chimera Fusion. Really awesome searcher in this deck, but it goes even further because if you control Chimera the flying mythical beast, you can banish this card from your graveyard to negate an effect of your opponent that targets a card or cards you control. So basically also an awesome generic negate. Most important, it's a 1-card combo starter because you can search the next card with it, which is this one, Mirror Swordknight. This card is totally insane. It's a 1-card combo starter. Well, beside the typical illusion effect, what this card does is you can tribute this card and special summon one monster from a deck that mentions Chimera Fusion except itself as a quick effect, which is insane. And the other effect is that if a monster your opponent controls activates this effect while you control Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard or field and negate that effect. So it's not only an awesome combo starter, it also can negate your opponent's monster effects. Really awesome. Next up, we play this one, Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws. It has also an insane effect. It's a beast, so no illusion effect, but if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one level 5 Fiend monster or one Chimera Fusion from your deck to your hand, which is also very awesome. And if you happen to not draw into Coatl or into Swordknight, this card can also be really helpful to get your combo started. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for a fusion summon, you can add one illusion monster from your deck to your hand. So another search right here. Really good card. And since we have the new version of Gazelle on the board, we also need the new version of Berfomet, which is Big Winged Berfomet. Also, awesome card. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one level 4 beast monster and or one Chimera Fusion from your deck to your hand, which is just crazy. You're locked into fusion monsters after you activate this effect, but this just doesn't matter. The awesome thing about this is you can tribute your Mirror Swordknight, bring out Berfomet and completely go nuts because you can add the mythical claws and a Chimera Fusion and just start your combo. But it goes even further because if this card is sent to the graveyard as a material for a fusion summon, you can target one illusion monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So this means if you use Mirror Swordknight to bring it out, you can just bring this Swordknight back on the field, and since Swordknight effect is a quick effect, you can do the same thing once your opponent draws. Another illusion monster we're running in this deck is this beautiful guy, and I just have to show you guys how beautiful he is. It's Nightmare Magician, with of course the typical illusion effect, but also the effect that at the end of the damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, you can just take the control of that monster. And it goes even further because once per turn, at the start of the damage step, if another monster attacks, you can destroy a card on the field. So for the last illusion monster in this deck, we play 2 of the brand new Master Tao, the Chanter. So, typical illusion effect, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one illusion monster in your grave, except himself, and special summon it in defense position, but you cannot special summon from the graveyard for the rest of this turn, except illusion monsters. This card is also pretty good, but the main reason it's in here is because it's always good to have a lot of illusion monsters on the field or in your hand, so you can use them for the fusion summon. So yes, definitely 2 off. I don't think 3 are needed. Next up is Edge Imp Chain. This card is basically a little mechanic you can run in this deck, and which is really good. The important part is that if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Frightfur card from your deck to your hand. Then another thing is a Kaiju. We run 2 Radian, the multidimensional Kaiju. You can use it in hand for various fusion monsters, and of course it's also a great super poly target to give your opponent. And the last monster we run, basic 3 Ashblossom. I guess I really don't have to explain anything about that. That's it for the monsters, guys, and now let's get into the spells. We start things off with 3 Chimera Fusion. During the main phase, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, including a beast or fiend monster. During your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard and you have Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast on your field or in your graveyard, you can activate one of these effects. You either add it to your hand, or you banish this card to special summon 1 Gazelle and 1 Berfomet from your deck and or graveyard. You can just recycle it over and over again and use it over and over again, and since it's a quick spell, you can even do it in your opponent's turn. This card is nuts. It's so crazy with this deck. Next card, which I just have to mention, it is also again such a beautiful artwork, is Fusion Armament. The effect of this card is that you reveal 1 fusion monster in your extra deck and special summon 1 of the fusion materials whose name is mentioned on that monster from your extra deck or graveyard. But until the end of your opponent's turn, it cannot attack and its effects are negated. So this card just helps us get out some fusion monsters we need, or revive some Chimera, because some of our monsters are treated as Chimera on the field and in the graveyard, so good for us, we can bring them back with Fusion Armament. Next up, we have Frightfur Patchwork. This is the card we want to search with our imp, and it's really easy. You just add 1 Edge Imp monster and 1 Polymerisation from your deck to your hand. With this combo, you basically never run out of polies, so awesome card right here. And of course, we also run 3 Polymerisation in this deck. So we also run 1 Instant Fusion, great card, and we also run 3 Superpolymerisation. And of course, for the generic ones, only 1 Called by the Grave. And just to add it up, for the traps, we run 2 Infinite Impermanence. Guys, this is it for the main deck. Let's get to the extra deck. For the extra deck, we run 1 Chimera the Mythical Flying Beast. Then we run the newer version, which is just breathtaking beautiful. We run Chimera the King of Phantom Beasts twice in our extra deck. It requires 1 beast monster and 1 fiend monster. Its name becomes Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast while on field or in the graveyard. And once it is fusion summoned, your opponent has to discard 1 random card during the end phase. It's really great. And the second effect is also really good because during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target 1 beast, fiend or illusion monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Really great card. I've been playing this on 3, but since we got the new support, I bumped it down to 2 because of this guy, which is the new card we got from Age of Overlord, Berfomet, the mythical king of phantom beasts. This scary looking guy needs 2 monsters with different types, beast, fiend or illusion. And its name also becomes Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast, which is very important for various effects we run. If this card is fusion summoned, you can send 1 beast, fiend or illusion monster from your deck to your graveyard. So it's basically a built-in foolish burial. And during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and then target 1 of your banished beast, fiend or illusion monsters, except itself, and special summon it. This is crazy because these two guys basically work perfectly together. And the next card we're talking about is basically our boss monster. It's Chimera the Illusionbeast. We run 2 of them in the deck and they require 1 Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast and 1 or more illusion monsters. This card also becomes Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast while on the field or in the graveyard, and it can attack monsters a number of times each battle phase up to the number of materials used for it, which is insane. Of course, it also has the typical illusion effect. And at the end of the damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, you can change that opponent's monster attack to 0 and negate its effects. If you, let's say, have 4 materials used for it, you can run into monsters 4 times. So let's say your first attack is against any monster. You deal a little bit of damage, its attack becomes 0, effects negated. But you can still run 3 more times into the same monster, dealing 9,300 points of damage, which wins you the duel almost every time. This is so good. And even if you're in a situation where you know you can't win the duel now, you can just attack 3 or 4 monsters of your opponent and negate all of their effects and change the attack to 0. This card is really great and wins you duels. Next one is 1 Magnum the Reliever. This card just needs 1 special summoned monster from the extra deck and a monster in the hand, and that's the reason for instant fusion, that's the reason for this Chimera. You can target 1 Polymerisation spell or fusion spell in your graveyard, place that card on the bottom of your deck and then draw 1 card. Awesome. And also, when another card or its effect is activated, quick effect, you can banish 1 Polymerisation spell or fusion spell from your graveyard, then target 1 card on the field and destroy it. So you have also a great interruption during your opponent's turn. Then we run 1,000 Eyes Restrict. This card basically only comes off our instant fusion. You can also think about the Millennium Eyes Restrict, but I chose the 1,000 Eyes because it can just, you know the effect. Then we go into our Magnum and get rid of a monster of your opponent while doing so. Great card just to push our Magnum. And we also run the typical Superpolymerisation package, which is Mud Dragon of the Swamp, Aurora, Wings of Resonant Life, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, Predaplant Dracostapella, and 1 Predaplant Trifoverdum. I guess I don't really have to explain those great cards in total. I definitely would say 1 of each is a must-have. 1 of each, I just have to talk about it. I run 2 Mud Dragons, as you can see. The reason for this is because I don't own a Guardian Chimera at the moment. It's an awesome card for this deck, not only because it has Chimera in the name, which is pretty cool, and it has an awesome effect and big part of great combos you can do with this deck, but I wasn't lucky enough to draw 1 at the time and it's still too pricey if you ask me, so I'm gonna wait for a reprint. But if you already have your hands on 1 of those cards, definitely put them in this deck. They're awesome, they work perfectly fine. So guys, that's it for the extra deck. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy this Chimera deck. Just totally love it. If you like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us a lot. Just help out some fellow duelists. And just remember, we're only getting started. We got plenty of stuff coming for you. You definitely don't want to miss. Hit that bell. And yeah, until next time, have a good one.